I think, with the recent school assessment that went on statewide. Tell us a little bit about how Santa Fe fared.
Yeah, so you know, we have a long way to go with our public schools. When I came here 2 years ago, there was overwhelming demand within our community for significant improvement in our public schools. And we've taken that, that demand with the sense of urgency that the community would expect. And this past year, we're pleased to say that we marked the greatest single year of performance in Santa Fe Public Schools history. We closed the gap between the performance of Santa Fe Public Schools and the state overall. Our English language learners outperformed their counterparts across the state. This year, Santa Fe Public School students increased their performance in reading and math, while their counterparts across the state, unfortunately, went down. As you know, earlier in the year, we announced the single greatest improvement in the dropout rate in the history of Santa Fe Public Schools, and single greatest improvement across the state. So Santa Fe Public Schools is making a name for itself as being among the fastest improving school districts in the state of New Mexico. And we set a goal of being the best school district in New Mexico in 5 years. So you mark that from 2 years ago. You know, if you say we're going to make 20% growth each year leading up to 100% by 5 years, just in simplest terms, we'd say, are we 40% of the way there? And I think this year's results clearly show that we're 40% of the way there, if not more. But we got to keep in mind that 40% is not even halfway, and we still have a long way to go. And we're going to continue to march ahead with the sense of urgency the community expects.
So certainly not a time to rest on our laurels.
You got it right.
And continue to build on that improvement. Some of the places I think we're seeing most improvement are the transformation zone schools. That was a program you implemented when you came to Santa Fe. Tell us about the progress you're seeing in those transformation zones.
Yeah, so we're seeing with 2 consecutive years of improvement in reading and math, we're seeing a considerable amount of investment from the philanthropic community, identifying our schools based on their performance, not geographic location, not grade configuration, and based on performance, providing the supports that they need. So our schools are configured based on innovation, acceleration, transformation, with the zoning really stating what's got to happen. Innovation, greater flexibility to make even greater gains. Acceleration, we need to speed up the gains, and transformation, we needed to redesign strategy. So we focused on improving the quality of teaching and learning through professional development for our teachers, providing interventions for our students, extending learning time beyond the traditional school day, providing non-instructional supports, those supports outside of the classroom that our children need, and engaging our families in the learning process. We're seeing the gap between the performance of those schools, those designated schools, and the district overall closing, and 2 consecutive years of growth in performance this past year. Now we still have a long way to go, but even school grades, which is somewhat an opaque formula from the state, no schools within our transformation zone were rated at the lowest level, and that's growth from last year.
That's fantastic, and as a community member and as a parent, it's wonderful to see some of that improvement and some of the tangible or quantitative numbers that we can tie to some of those things. One of the things that you mentioned was the dropout rate. We recognize that dropout rates are a problem across the state of New Mexico, and certainly here in Santa Fe, but they're improving. I have a theory part of the reason they're improving is because they don't want to have to drop out and then maybe come back and experience you as their principal through the new Engage program. Tell us about the Engage program and what your role is going to be.
Yeah, so this past year we charted 53% improvement in the dropout rate, bringing it to its lowest point ever at 2.8%. However, 2.8% is still far too high. And if you look back in time, with the dropout rate being around 7% each year, we estimate that there's about 1,600 students within this community that are not pursuing a GED or a diploma and have no prospect for a high school education currently. So the current system's not working for them, but we still need to recruit them back. As you know, as your educational future goes down, the likelihood for incarceration goes up. The likelihood, unfortunately, for truly earning a living wage is far less. So we believe there to be a moral obligation to reach out to these youngsters to help support them and to help engage them in a different way than perhaps what the system offers overall. So Engage Santa Fe is that. It's not a school. It's a blended learning approach with on-site tutorials as well as online distance learning, mentorship, job training, childcare, and really providing the types of support that adult learners, because in their reality they are living the life of an adult even though they may not be that. And having worked with our kids, you know, I meet with every kid who wants to drop out of school. And having met with our kids, what I learned is that we could not wait any longer. We needed to get this going. And unfortunately, with the finances the way they are in the district, we don't have the opportunity to hire a whole lot of new staff. So I've appointed myself as the principal of Engage Santa Fe, and so I will be running double duty next year as the superintendent of Santa Fe Public Schools and the directing principal of Engage Santa Fe.
I think it's going to be a